Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
All right, welcome to the Dan Bongino Show. Producer Joe, how are you today?
Hey, the show must go on, Daniel.
Always does, right? Hey, big announcement again on Monday. Thank you to everyone out there supporting our show. We are exploding here. We have a big thing coming next week, which I'll talk about. We're looking to dramatically expand Bongino.com to include original content on debunking liberal nonsense. We already have a section of the website called Debunk This, but we're looking to expand. So I have a proposal for you all next week, so don't miss it. I'm hoping you're on board with it. We dramatically want to increase our marketing and our capability. We're about the number 2 or 3, depending on the week, conservative podcast in the country now. We would like to dramatically grow that. So in conjunction with some help from you, if you see fit, I have an announcement for you next week. Also on Monday, my new show starts, NRATV.com. It's called We Stand with Dan Bongino. Thank you, Joe. So please check it out. It's available at 5:30. It's going to be live, 5:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 p. Eastern Time. I'll have some great content for you. I'll be working a lot with my buddy Grant Stinchfield from NRA TV, and please check it out. You're really going to like it. It's NRATV.com. It's free. Just go to the website, check it out. There's no paywall, nothing like that. It's all free. So hope you check that out. All right. I have been holding this story all week because we got really busy with the Timeline show. Yesterday, we got really busy with combating liberal ideology and their silly boycotts thing. Yeah. And by the way, someone emailed me, Joe, and they said, you said throughout the whole show, boycotts don't work, but then you talked about boycotting the NFL. No, that's not what I said. I said liberal boycotts don't work. Right. I didn't say anything about conservative boycotts. I even mentioned Target. When conservatives boycott, it works. That was the whole point of the show. Mm-hmm. Conservatives never forget. Liberals are pajama boys. They move on the next day to their next fictitious fight. In their Spider-Man pajamas. That's what they do. One day it's men in the women's room. The next day it's Christian bakers. The next day it's the NRA. These people have the attention span of a fruit fly. That was my whole point. Conservatives, though, never forget. Ever. Once they write off Target and the NFL, they write them off for good. That was the whole point of yesterday's show. So I'm sorry. A couple of folks, I guess, missed that, and I understand. But I do got a lot to get to today. Number one, the Broward County Sheriff, Scott Israel. Folks, this was obviously a disaster of epic proportions. I mean, we lost 17 kids. Yeah. But what's troublesome about this is the complete, utter lack of accountability by people in the government sector, almost exclusively, these things happen, signs are missed, and nothing happens, folks. Nothing. Milton Friedman had this line about spending money that applies in this specific situation and explains the lack of accountability. Don't ever forget it. I've used this before, but it's important you understand this. Friedman said the best way to spend money is you spending money on yourself. There's 4 ways to spend it, right? You can spend money on yourself. And when you do that, cost and quality matter because you are spending your own money. So the cost of what you're buying matters and the quality matters because you're buying something for yourself. You can spend money on other people. The cost matters. The quality, maybe not so much because you may be buying a sweater or something for someone else. So the cost matters for the sweater, but the quality, if it's someone, you're buying it for someone else. Yeah. Other people can spend other people's money on themselves. In that case, cost doesn't matter because you're spending other people's money. If I buy, if I get a hotel room on Joe's credit card, I want the suite. I want the luxury suite. I want the penthouse.
Yeah, babe.
So the cost, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. But the cost matters. I mean, the cost doesn't matter, but the quality does because I'm buying something with Joe's money for myself. And these are all increasing in inefficiency, right?
Right.
The most inefficient way to spend money is other people spending other people's money on other people. That's the government. It's the government takes money from you in the form of taxes and spends it on things not even related to themselves. They spend it on police departments. They spend it on whatever, you name it, Medicare, Medicaid, S-chip, Obama phones. It doesn't matter. You name the program. It's not for them. Now, you may say, well, some of them benefit by government salaries. Yeah, of course, that's the case. But the majority of government money is not spent on that person's salary. The federal government budget is close to $4 trillion. Nobody's making $4 trillion. The overwhelming majority of the money spent on other people. So it's other people spending other people's money on other people. That leads to a severe lack of accountability because neither cost nor quality matter as they should. Right. Because you're spending other people's money, so who cares about the cost? And you're buying other people products, whether it's police protection, Obama phones, Section 8 housing. You don't give a damn about the quality because it's not yours. There is no accountability in government anymore. How many scandals are going to break where people seemingly get a free pass for unbelievable malfeasance or misfeasance? The difference being one, being an overt act. Malfeasance being, you trip on the corner, you go to get up and I punch you and knock you down. Misfeasance being you trip on the corner, hurt yourself, and I just walk by you and don't do anything. Both are bad. They're different levels of depravity, though. Right. Either way, though, they're both bad. Government malfeasance or misfeasance, Joseph, is rarely punished. I mean, I had to take some notes on this because the scandals are legendary. Just in the last few years, we had the IRS scandal. The IRS has already admitted to targeting conservatives. Who gets punished, Joe? Nobody. Yep. Lois Lerner. Oh, you may say, Lois Lerner, her reputation's ruined. Yeah, she's on a government pension right now, folks. The Benghazi scandal. Hey. We had 4 people die. What happened there? No one's been punished. What did they suffer? Some reputational damage? These 4 guys are dead. Nobody punished at all. We had an Oakland mayor, Joe. Did you see this story? The mayor of Oakland warning illegals, criminal illegal aliens, some guilty of very serious crimes, warning them that the government was going to be engaging in immigration raids for illegal immigrants who were dangerous criminals. And some of them fled. The Oakland mayor, what happens? Oh, nothing. Nothing. She gets a bad story on cable news. The GAO scandal, the VA scandal with our vets being put on waiting lists to die. Nothing happens. Nothing. Government gets a pass all the time. I mention that as a preface to this Broward County Sheriff, Scott Israel, who not only seemingly to this point has gotten a pass for grotesque misfeasance on this case of this killer Nicholas, the guy Nicholas Cruz, who's of course the alleged killer in this school shooting in Parkland. Sorry, it's just a troubling case, folks, and it's just disturbing to even talk about. But this kid, the warning signs were everywhere. Now, Joe was kind enough to pull these two cuts here, these 2 sound cuts, what we would call SOTs, sound on tape, right? Mm-hmm. Joe knows the lingo better than I do, right? Yeah. Joe has been in the industry a long time. Sorry to me, but it's just such a troubling topic, folks. But he was nice enough to pull these. I want you to listen to these 2 deeply disturbing, and I mean it, deeply disturbing 911 calls, and explain to me again how this sheriff, Scott Israel, the Broward County Sheriff, can go out there on CNN during that town hall and attack Dana Lash while simultaneously, insinuating that he was doing everything he could to keep the community safe. This first one, this is one of the caregivers of Nicholas Cruz after his mom died, calling 911. Listen to what she says. And then explain to me again how the NRA screwed up here and not the sheriff. Play that one.
911 emergency. How can I help you?
Yeah, there was a fight in my house. There's a kid and my son.
Okay,
I'm punching him, and now he left the house, but I need somebody here because I'm afraid he comes back and he has a lot of weapons. And he has a weapon he's going to get at Dick's right now because he purchased it.
Is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house. It's a mobile home.
Okay, and who did this?
Nicholas Cruz.
Is he a friend, a brother, uncle, sister, what?
No, he was just somebody I took in because his mother just passed away, and he's going to get his weapon at Dick's. I know that right now. He's been waiting for it, and he knows he's not allowed to bring any guns. So now he's pissed off, so he's going to get the gun.
And how long ago did this happen?
It just happened, and he just walked out of the house.
Is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He bought a gun about a week and a half ago, and he gets it today, so that we think that he's going there now. Because that's all all he wants is his gun, and that's all he cares about is his gun. And he bought tons of bullets and stuff, and I took it away from him. And I have a bunch of other little guns here. And BB guns, though. But he has a real gun that he's going to get now. He also dig in the backyard because he knew he was not allowed to bring it here, and we found that he did. He put the gun in the head of his brother before, so it's not the first time. And he did that to his mom. His mom died November 3rd. So he's not... It's not the first time he put a gun on somebody's head.
And what's his last name?
Thanks so much. Cruz, C-R-U-Z.
His first name?
Nicholas.
Folks, did you hear that? The caregiver there, who is clearly disturbed by this young man, says he gets into a fight with his son. He's going to get his gun, and the end is just beyond troubling. He's put the gun to the head of his, what he said, brother and the mother before.
Yep.
That we told him that he couldn't have the guns, and he was hiding them. The warning signs were everywhere. And what's the sheriff out doing? He's on CNN blaming Dana Lash and the NRA. The NRA didn't go and visit this guy's house. The NRA didn't get it. Joe, when you dial 911, does it go to the NRA?
No, it doesn't, Dan.
I don't think it does. But no, of course, it's legal, law-abiding gun owners' fault, and this sheriff jumps on board. Has this guy been fired? No, he's out on TV. He's out on TV there, this sheriff, doing TV promotions for his re-election campaign. I got one more for you. This is Cruz himself calling 911. I mean, if this isn't like a warning sign and bells and whistles aren't going off. By the way, folks, this is just a small snippet of the relatively large police file surrounding Nicholas Cruz. Play Cruz's 911.
I got mad and I started punching walls and stuff, and then a kid came at me and threw me on the ground. He started attacking me, and he kicked me out of the house, and he said he was going to gut me.
Folks, this is him calling 911 himself. Listen, I'm not going to get lost in the number of calls to the house. It may have been 5, it may have been 10. I've heard every number from 45 to 39 to 13, depending on how they categorize the call. It doesn't matter. The warning signs were everywhere. When are we going to get some darn accountability in government? These people get a free pass over and over and over again. It's disgusting. It is way past time for this guy to either explain himself in a rational, reasonable fashion, the Broward County Sheriff, that is, or to move along and find someone who will explain what happened. The NRA did not get those 911 calls. The Broward County Sheriff's Office did. Combine that with the fact that there are multiple reports now that deputies who showed up at the scene, who may very well, Joe, have wanted to go inside, and knowing most cops, I can only imagine they did, were told to form a perimeter outside, which, ladies and gentlemen, no police department I know of trained in active shooter response training, whether they use the alert system from the FBI or any other system, is trained to stay outside during a police shooting. That was the old days pre-Columbine. Set up a perimeter, wait for a hostage situation. That is not what police departments are trained to do anymore. Why were these deputies instructed to form a perimeter outside, according to multiple news reports? When is this guy going to step down? He said, I gave him the badge, I gave him the gun, I gave him the training. What they did with it, clearly you gave them the wrong orders too, or the wrong training, because that's not how they responded. Unbelievable. Unbelievable story. Thank you for pulling those
you're welcome,
cuts, Joe. But just, you need to go, and go right now, Mr. Broward County Sheriff. Get off TV and go back to the private life. Gosh, we need some accountability. This swamp is disgusting. Never, ever, ever. Other people spending other people's money on other people. The quality never matters of the service. It's really sad. All right, I've got a couple other stories I want to get to today because there's a lot going on in the news. I want to talk about, I didn't get to the Trump meeting, press conference, policy session in the Roosevelt Room at the White House on guns. There were some interesting things that were said there that I have, some issues with there, and I want to be sure we get that out there. Before we get to that, today's show brought to you by buddies at GoTenna. Listen, you know I'm a big fan of preparedness, whether it's My Patriot Supply or other products we sell that would lead you to have a more safe and secure home. But GoTenna is a really good option for you. GoTenna, it's like antenna with a go. It's GOTENNA.com. GoTenna.com. It's a tiny but mighty device. It pairs with any smartphone to enable the first 100% off-grid mobile long-range consumer-ready mesh network. It looks like basically a USB stick, like a bigger USB stick. It allows you to communicate using your cell phone with not being on the grid at all. You're going out hiking in the middle of nowhere. You're overseas.